Hey yogis, it's Brianna. Welcome to day 3 of our 7-day yoga challenge. Congratulations, you made it to day 3. You got this. Today's practice is going to be mostly, or actually completely, on the mat. We're not doing any standing poses today. We're going to start on our backs. Plant your feet, knees point up towards the ceiling. Root down into the bottoms of your feet, especially your heels. Arms are long beside you. You can close your eyes here. I want you to take a second to arrive on your mat, to be present here. Feel your belly and your chest rise and fall with every inhale and every exhale. See if you can soften the area around your eyes and your jaw. And we'll start with a bridge pose. So peel your lower back, mid back, and upper back off the mat, lifting your hips up, pressing into your heels. Option to clasp your hands together, walk your shoulders underneath you just a little bit more. If that's not accessible for you, just keep your arms long at your side. Go ahead and gently release. From here, we'll take half happy baby. So bring your right knee in towards your armpit. Reach for your thigh, calf, ankle, outside of your foot, or even peace fingers around your big toe. Keep your knee in towards your armpit. Let your foot go out as wide as you want, as wide as feels good. You can leave your left foot here on the mat, or you can lengthen your left leg nice and long. Maybe bringing your left hand to your left hip to keep it stable on your mat. Today's practice is all about grounding. So what does that even mean? People throw that word around all the time. Sometimes our brain, it tends to get lost, maybe in fantasies, maybe in the future, maybe in the past. Grounding is bringing yourself back into the present moment, or at least that's my interpretation. So if you hear a different one, this is my interpretation of grounding today. So you can do that by tapping into your 5 senses. That's probably the most common way to do that. So right now, wherever your hands are, notice that sensation of touch. I want you to feel your mat and the floor underneath your shoulders. If your left leg is long, bring your left foot back to the mat and feeling your mat with the bottom of your foot. Gently release your right leg, cross your right ankle over your left knee for reclined pigeon figure 4. Flex both feet. And we are active here. So you've got right knee pressing away from you. Left knee is pressing in towards your body. And while we're here, take note of any smells in the room. Did you light a candle for today's practice? Maybe you just had coffee or breakfast, lunch or dinner. Maybe you have dogs, and maybe, especially if you have a new puppy that's being potty trained, I want you to take note of any smells in the room, but don't judge them as good or bad. Just notice them. What does it smell like here and now in this exact moment in time? Go ahead and gently release your pigeon. Uncross your legs. Bring both knees into your chest. Take your arms out wide And then drop your knees over to the right and look over to the left. Keeping both shoulders planted down on your mat, I want you to release any tension in your legs from your hips, your knees, your toes. If they move a little bit and they're not perfectly squared, it's fine. Notice if you can feel any opening in your heart with your arms out wide like this. Opening throughout your chest, maybe near your armpits. Gently come back through center. Bring your feet back to the mat, your arms long beside you. And we're going to take that half happy baby on the left. So find your hand placement. Once your left leg is settled, option to lengthen your right leg down. Maybe bringing your right hand to your hip. And I want you to really look at your ceiling, or if you're lucky enough to be practicing outside, the sky. What shapes do you see? Even if you're looking at a white ceiling like I am, there's lots of textures from the paint. I've got a ceiling fan. So notice any shapes. Notice any colors. But again, no judging. Just see things as they are without assigning any value, good or bad, to them. Feel that stretch in your hips. Feel your shoulders under your mat. Smell any scents in the room. Gently bring your right foot back to the mat if it was long and feel the sole of your foot on your mat. Gently release your left leg back down and then cross left ankle over right knee, flexing your foot. Pick up your right foot off the floor, flexing those toes. Create your figure 4 shape, pressing your right knee in towards your body. The left knee presses away. Take a moment to look at your feet, but again, with no judgment. If you're someone that gets pedicures and maybe you're overdue, no judgment here. Just take a moment to examine your body, maybe even taking a second to wiggle your toes and then reflexing your feet. Our toes are something we don't pay a lot of attention to. So throughout your yoga practices, I encourage you to really take note of how they feel on your mat. We don't appreciate our feet enough until we can't walk on them anymore. Go ahead and gently release, and then bring your knees into your chest. Arms come out to a T, this time dropping your knees over to the left, looking over to the right, checking in with your shoulders. They're on your mat or the floor. And notice here any tastes lingering in your mouth or the absence. Maybe if you brushed your teeth, toothpaste, maybe leftover coffee, some bedtime tea. Staying with your breath here. Gently come back to center. And we're going to rock and roll up to a sitting position. Take a nice wide V shape. Toes are flexed. Sit up nice and tall. Take a nice fold, hinging at your hips. You know what to do. Try not to lock your knees though. It's okay if there's some micro bending in there, okay? Breathe deep here. If you haven't smiled yet during the practice, smile. Smiles are so powerful, especially if you're feeling down, you need a mood boost, and to spread joy to others. Take your smiles. One of my favorite runners, famous marathon runners, I'm probably going to say his name wrong, Eliud Kipchoge. He's famous for smiling while he runs, while running marathons. And there's been some science. I don't have the studies. If I find it, maybe I'll post it in the comments. But smiling while exercising can have some huge benefits. So encourage you to smile whenever you can, unless a man is telling you to. But we won't take it there. Rise back up. I want you to bring your right foot in first. Turn towards your left leg. Toes are still flexed. Sit up nice and tall and then gently fold towards your leg. Janu Shirshasana. Remember, don't lock your knee. It's okay if there's bend. Take a few deep breaths here. I know in these slow practices, especially if you are someone who is a goer or a vigorous exerciser, when you do exercise, it might be so hard for you to slow down here. But you are being productive. This is worth it. Exercise doesn't have to just be go until you can't breathe. Sometimes your body just needs you to slow down and enjoy the moment. Rise back up. We'll take rock star. Right hand behind you. Left hand sweeps in front of you. Press into the sole of your left foot. Press your hips forward. Reach through your left fingertips. It's a lot to think about. And gently release. Slow, intentional movement. That's what we're all about. Bring your left foot in. Right leg long. Turn to the right. And gently fold forward. We are almost done, my friend. You should be so proud of yourself for making time for this today, for taking care of yourself. We tapped into all 5 senses today. And that's what you can turn to when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you just need a second, when you need to snap out of it. Try to tap into your 5 senses. Try to become present in the moment that you're living. A lot of times we live in the past. We can find ourselves ruminating into fictional spaces. But it's a good idea to learn how to come back to the present, to live in the present. We'll take rock star. I almost skipped it on this side. Left hand comes behind you. Right hand sweeps in front of you. Press into your right foot. Press your hips forward, reaching through your right fingertips. And then slow and intentional come back down. Last, you're going to come on to your back. Nice and slow. And I want you to bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug, and then on your next exhale, release everything down, Shavasana. Don't skip your Shavasana. We just did all that work to relax your body because a relaxed body can help your mind relax. So give your mind just 1 minute. That's all I'm asking. Give your brain 1 minute to do nothing. And if your brain won't stop talking to you, try to go back to focusing on your breath. I'm going to time it, so don't even worry about the time. Just take a minute starting now. Start to bring your awareness back to your fingers and toes. Bring one foot back to the mat and then the other. And turn over onto one side into a fetal position. And then gently, slow and intentional, press yourself back up to sitting. Thank you so much for joining on day 3. You've got 4 days to go. I believe in you. You can do it.